Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about relationships after weight loss surgery. All right, so I wanted to come on here today and talk to you about something that I see pop up all the time in a lot of the support groups I'm in on Facebook, and it's relationships during the weight loss surgery process and then after. I know if you search, there's a lot of crazy numbers out there for divorce rates and things like that. I really wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about this from my perspective and just kind of how I feel about it in general. And then I'm also going to be bringing on a very, very special guest tonight with me, my husband, who has also gone through this journey with me. And this way you guys can kind of get a perspective from the spouse's side or the person who hasn't gone through the surgery side of the whole conversation as well. So a little background, I got my surgery 10 months ago. It'll be a year in December. So we're still relatively fresh in this. So we're still going through the initial process of that first year of weight loss surgery. But I feel like in this last year, we have also grown a lot, both of us have. And I think that we've gotten a pretty good handle on the changes that have been happening. And I keep looking at him and he's making faces. There's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of changes on my end, physically, mentally, emotionally, just personality wise, there's been a lot of changes on my end. And I know that. And I don't necessarily think they're bad changes. I see them as good changes, but that might not be the case for the person that you're with, especially if they, were with you when you were one way and now they have to grow with you as you become this different version of yourself. I still feel like at the core of me, I'm still Jessie and I'm still myself. Like I'm still a goofball. I'm still super irresponsible in a lot of ways in my end. I am still a live in the moment, take it day by day. I'm not a planner. Like none of that stuff has changed at all. But there have been other things that I have noticed a change. And I know that my husband, Stanley, has also noticed those changes as well. And I have to navigate those, and so does he. So I know this is something that I see all the time, and people bring up the fact that, they don't know what to do. Their significant other is not supportive or says not nice things about them or tries to bring them down. And I've seen tons and tons of stories out there. So first I'm going to say, I always recommend if you really feel like you're in a position in your relationship where you guys can't talk it out, like seek professional help. There are great counselors out there who are specifically equipped to help you handle your relationship stuff. So don't ever feel like you can't get a professional person involved. Like there's nothing wrong with that. So don't ever think there's something wrong with that. We've gone to marriage counselors a couple times in our relationship, even before weight loss surgery. And sometimes you just need an outside perspective and someone who can kind of just check you both and make you guys kind of talk and actually speak the truth. So professionals, always highly recommend that. But I also recommend just talking and having conversations. Like even if they're hard conversations to have. Like I know before I decided to have this surgery, which like at the end of the day was my decision, it's my body and I'm the one who's having the surgery, but like I spoke to Stanley about it and I really explained the whys and I explained the benefits and also the risks, and we talked a lot about it. And I wasn't really gonna go forward with it even if I wanted to do it if he had reservations, because it was a decision that's gonna affect both of us. So I understood that going into this. And I think that is a huge factor in the success of a relationship after, is really making sure that you've laid it all out there and you've had conversations beforehand. Like don't just jump into something like that and not talk to your partner about it, because their lives are gonna be changed too. It is life-changing for everybody involved, like even my kids. I'm becoming this different person in front of my kids too. So I have to keep all of those people in mind when we're talking about this kind of stuff. I guess, Stanley, if you wanna come on over, I'll share the screen with you for a little bit. We can talk a little bit about this too. Mm-hmm. So from your perspective, what do you think as far as what do you think makes for, I guess, success after someone after like your partner goes through weight loss surgery, and then like maybe some stuff that you have to like adjust and keep in mind? Like, your thoughts?
Like you said, you talked about it with me before you actually decided. I never thought in my mind that I would have any issues with that. I think that it was your choice to do that. That lifestyle would change who you are as a person, and that is true. You are a completely different person now than when we first got together and when we got married. I tell you this all the time. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that I've noticed over the last year-ish. She had the surgery in December, but she really started going through like the pre-op work and all that stuff a couple months prior to the surgery. So it's been about a year since this whole lifestyle has been in full effect. Right. And at first it was kind of shocking. But then after a while, it just got used to it, and I realized that she was changing and developing as a new person. She still is. I had to change with her in a lot of ways that may be good, maybe bad. I don't know. Like, it depends. It's different. Like, I'm
still Jessie, like.
Not really. Not really. There are some things that are the same, but there are a lot of things that are different. And I would say that there are more things that are different than things that are the same. And I feel like if you focus on just what's the same.
My head is burning. I don't know why. I think I put this on too tight. I was like literally on fire. That was really weird.
This is one of the things that changed.
No, I was wearing wigs before surgery. One of
the things that's changed, you look after your personal appearance a lot more now than you did before. So
but I feel like, okay, but the thing is I did my makeup before surgery.
You did your makeup
I did the wigs or did my hair, and I always colored my hair. I always did those things before.
If you focus on the things that were the same, you'll miss out on a whole bunch of new things. And I feel like that's very important. Don't get caught up on the past. Everyone's gonna change over the course of a relationship. That person's not gonna be the same person that you married forever. So with that being said, you have to kind of change with your partner. There's always three sides of the story, right? And for the person who's in the weight loss group that's making the post, they're probably the person who had the surgery, and you're not hearing the other person's side. You're not hearing what they are actually experiencing in the relationship. And then even with that, you're still missing the third part of the story, which is what actually is happening.
What actually happened.
In the relationship, or what is happening. Really? And I feel like you're only seeing essentially a third of the story. If you...
Well, each situation is different. Every relationship is different. The first thing I always say when I see things like that is like, did you talk to your spouse, like your significant other, about this? Because like, did you have a conversation, or are you just coming straight to us with your frustrations? Because I don't think it's fair to come straight to a group of people who obviously are going to be on your side. Like, we're always very supportive of people, especially since we understand that side of the story because we are the ones who have gone through the surgery. So we understand that person's perspective more. But at the same time, like, are you talking to your significant other as well? Because talking to us isn't going to solve the problem, because you don't have to be in a relationship with us.
Yes.
Like, we're Facebook. Like, we're going to go away.
Yes.
Come and go.
And I think it's funny that like they're like, oh, you should leave him or leave her or whatever.
The best one the one that everyone's favorite is, oh, you should just lose the 150 pounds or whatever, 200 pounds, you know, sitting at home. Like, you just lost weight like in one day. Like, what? Like, come on, you gotta talk about it.
The people that are encouraging you to leave, first of all, doesn't have to deal with the aftermath of that. And it may be a good thing, and it may be a bad thing. You don't know. But if you're in a relationship, you've been married to this person for X amount of years, you have kids, you have history to get, like, just go and seek professional help before you make that decision.
And just have a conversation. Because that's the biggest thing too, is like, if you're not having a conversation, that other person might not understand what you're going through or how you see it. And you might not understand how that person sees it, but then they explain it to you, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. I understand where you're coming from, and vice versa.
And when she told me that she wanted to do the surgery, I looked it up myself to see what it's like for the other person. And I found a lot of articles about how relationships tend to fail within the first 4 years, and we're only in year 1. So in the next 3 years, we might be in a completely different stage. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
but it may be. But with that being said, in my mind, I'd rather have us divorced and separate, with her living a healthier life and being able to be in our kids' life longer than her being with me. Because at the end of the day, once we had kids, it was about me, but it's also about them too. And I think they need a mother, and I would want them to have a mother longer than I would have a wife if that was the case. Well, that was one of my thoughts going into the surgery.
Do you have any like advice from a partner's perspective?
Oh man, there's a lot of things that change. So one thing to change, photos galore. Unlimited amount of photos, completely different photos. That's the first thing.
But you're a photographer, so.
Second thing, dates. If you go out to eat a lot, that's pretty much done. Partner's diet is going to be so specific that it's going to be hard to go to your favorite places and eat.
We realized really quickly that almost every date that we go on, it has to do with like going to our favorite restaurant and getting our favorite foods, but it's not the same. Like majority of the time he's eating by himself because I've taken like 3 bites and then I'm just sitting there watching him eat.
Third thing, you might try to fit with their diet. Don't. You will starve yourself trying to eat what that person's eating.
It's good to pick up some of the habits. I don't, like, I agree with some of the habits. Like, I feel like we're not eating carbs like we were before, which is good for everybody. Like, it's good for you.
And every now and then, I feel like having some Chinese food.
Do take into consideration, though, that just because we aren't supposed to eat things doesn't mean we still don't have an addiction to food. So I always ask, like, if you're gonna get something bad, I always ask him to like have it when I'm not here and make sure it's gone by the time I get home. Like, don't buy a box of Oreos and eat 4 of them and leave the whole box there, because you know what? Yeah, I only may be able to eat 1, but I'll eat 1 Oreo until the whole box is gone every single day. Just be considerate of the fact that we're still dealing with a food addiction.
The person who had the surgery needs to understand that this wasn't your choice. And yes, she gets to have the healthy food and she shouldn't be eating it. But if I want to buy some Oreos and eat a couple of them and leave them, then that's my choice.
Just hide them.
That's my
Just hide them.
I shouldn't have to hide my food. I didn't make the choice.
We'll agree to disagree
I didn't
on the
make
Oreo
the
dilemma.
You do not have to
Clearly,
live
I want some Oreos.
the lifestyle that your partner lives.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. You shouldn't have to.
You should each be considerate of each other.
And if your partner like pushes it on you, I'm like, that's wrong. You should stop.
I don't need to lose any more dead weight. I'm good.
Okay, you see me as dead weight?
No, I see you as valuable weight that I don't intend to lose.
As the partner, you have to realize self-value. Like, I know what I bring to the relationship. I know that if for some reason ever, if that's taken for granted or if that's looked down upon, I know that I can always go to someone else and I'll still have me attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to change completely who I am to fit her needs. Just like I wouldn't expect for her to change who she is to fit my needs. And that's okay. You need to be able to work everything out. But at the end of the day, you have to not let it get toxic to the point where the kids are affected. And that would never happen.
Well, don't wait too long either. Have those conversations.
Yeah, that would never happen. By that time, you should already be seeing someone. To see, like, no, not someone that's like another person. No, like a professional. But not that type of professional.
A marriage counselor, a therapist, a professional.
And I think that you need to understand that the person that had the surgery is going through a life change, and after they come out on the other end of that tunnel, they might not see you as the same partner as they saw you before that. That was the change that they decided to make on their end. And on the opposite foot, if you're going through that tunnel and on the other end of the tunnel, you feel like that's not the person you want to be with, then that was the choice that they made. And that's that. You just have to go about your way. Not saying that's happening.
All right, so I think that we kind of touched on a lot of stuff here. If you guys have anything else that you want to add or you want to ask us or anything like that, go ahead and put that in the comments below. We love to hear any comments, questions, anything like that, so that we can kind of try to figure out what you guys are looking for in videos for the future. So just give us anything all there in the comments. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you get notifications on any videos I do in the future. And go ahead and give us a like on this video. We would really appreciate it. It means a whole lot to us. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and thank you for hanging out, and we will see you on the next video.